everybody. So we are going to be finishing our unit on Mesopotamia today. This is the last new stuff you need to learn. So it's the last new things we're going to be adding into our notebook. Our learning target today is we can describe the technology advancements of Mesopotamia. So going to our notebook, that means this should all be filled out now. We should have our puzzle pieces covering all of these learning targets because we have learned them all now. So make sure that you have all of these targets filled in, covered up, and we are ready to go. So today we're going to be on these slides right here. Getting there. We're going to be on slide 22. We'll be able to fill out the inventions and legacies they have in science, in math, and technology and farming. There is not specific questions for this, so anything that you hear that falls into the science category or the math category, the technology category, or the farming category, you are going to type up. Then you're going to complete this. I can get there. You're going to complete this invention legacy paragraph. These are organizers to help you. Watch this video, though. It tells you how to use the organizers to help you write this paragraph. I am going to make sure that you have the CER, claim, evidence, reasoning kind of response. So you're making your claim. You are going to list evidence, at least 2 pieces of evidence, and I give you help with this in the video. And you are going to use your evidence to explain how this shows that it's the best invention. So again, watch this video, go over all of this, but this is your little checklist. Make sure you have claim, evidence, reasoning, conclusion, and it's in paragraph format, which means you don't list sentence 1, then sentence 2, then sentence 3. It's in a paragraph. Okay, moving on. Let's go to our slideshow here, and I'm going to present. And of course, my face is in the way again, so I'm going to try to move that. If I can. It just gets stuck every time. Okay, so let me turn on the volume a little bit because I know sometimes that gets in the way. Okay, moving on. See, as soon as I do, there's my face again in the way. So a civilization's legacy are things left for us from the past. They are still important today. So when I say a legacy, it means that something that a civilization made, that it becomes important all over the place for many, many years. So for example, us, when we talked about our advancements and our technology and our achievements, we made the car, and think about how often the car is used all over the world. We made cell phones, the very first cell phones, the very first smartphones, and it's used everywhere. I don't think that we would be able to make it, I know I wouldn't be able to make it a day without my cell phone. So we're talking about things that become important for years and years and years to everybody. So Mesopotamia, yes, you don't think it would have a legacy, but it does. And one of those legacies is the fact that they began written language. They had the first people that were created writing. Let me move this little thing. The Mesopotamians' cultural legacy affects our lives every day. So for example, Sumer's pictograph and cuneiform writing led to the Phoenician alphabet. We talked about that in Phoenicians. That was the basis for the 22-letter alphabet, which became the basis for Greek and Roman languages, Latin, and that was adopted by us. So without cuneiform, we may not have a written language, or it would look very different than it would today. This is an example of their cuneiform. Government and law are also achievements of Mesopotamia. They left us a legacy in the form of government. The city-state unit that started in Sumer, Babylon, and Phoenicia was key in the ancient world. Through Hammurabi's code, he showed that laws are important. They influenced later legal systems, including those of Greece and Rome. And that why that's important to us is because we take what Greece and Rome set up and we use it for the foundation of our government. So knowing that Hammurabi set up these first written laws, set up the you're equal, everybody are not equal, you are innocent until proven guilty. That comes straight from Hammurabi, and we still have that today in the United States. They use those. We talked about how they kind of divided up the land into these provinces, which is how we have it in the United States. We have our whole country divided up into states, and each state has a governor, just like them. And we still use good communications. It's still part of modern government, still part of our government today. And again, those are the first written laws. So as far as their technology, Mesopotamian technology helped the development of civilization. During the Bronze Age, tools and weapons such as axes, swords, and daggers became better than ever. They also made farming better and helped travel on land and sea. I gotta move my face again. The wheel made transportation and travel better, and Phoenician shipbuilding and navigation did the same at sea and spread culture. And here are some examples of tools that they've made. This axes, these are like farming tools here. Moving on, math and science. So one of the first things for math that they invented was called the abacus, and it's still used in some places today. It is like a very basic calculator. It helps you keep track and count. Before calculators were invented, abacuses were a widespread use, and because people developed the technology, like electronic technology, they were able to take an abacus and make a calculator. So this laid the foundation of math and science. They were also the first to do complex calculations and create a calendar. They put together a number system based on 60, and we've talked about this before, but our clocks are based on 60 to help us keep track of time. So it goes to 60 minutes and then a new hour starts. It just comes directly from the Sumerians. And there is is an example of their calendar that they used. And math again. So math is, you're going to find out that a lot of these ancient civilizations came up with a lot of math. Not only did they come up with calculations, they came up with the abacus, but they also used math calculations to build these buildings. Without knowing an understanding of geometry, they wouldn't be able to build these kind of complex buildings, including their ziggurats. So just think of all the angles and shapes they have to know in order to fit it together to build their ziggurats. And that's it. So going back to your notebook, move my face again. I don't know if I can actually. I always get stuck. Okay, so moving here, we talk about science, calendar, astronomy. They all developed that in science. The math, you have the abacus, you have complex calculations, understanding of geometry. Technologies means new things that they created. The calendar, the number system based on 60, you can add it in math and technology. Technology is also writing, using that cuneiform, and the wheel all fall under technology, so that's super important. Under farming, you have the plow, and the plow becomes really, really important in the fact that you cannot do a large-scale planting without being able to have a plow to kind of dig up the ground and put your seeds in. It would take way longer time. You wouldn't be able to grow as much. Also in farming, you have the irrigation systems that they created that help trap water into the fields. That becomes the very first time irrigation is used. All of those are inventions and legacies. Most of these are still used today. And if not, they are created the basis. So for example, math, the abacus is not really widely used today, but it was for years and years, and it sets up the very first calculator. So after you add that in, you need to decide which one of these you think is the most important, whether it is math, coming up with math calculations, geometry, science and astronomy and all of that, technology and the wheel. Can you imagine life without the wheel? That would be really hard. Whether it's the wheel or writing or the plow and farming, pick something that you think is the most important, and then you're going to complete this. And remember, watch this video right here for directions on how to do that. And that's it for today, and we are done with Mesopotamia. Yay! So anyway, I will see you guys when you guys come back to school, and we'll be finishing our projects and moving on to Egypt, which is my favorite. So, all right, have a great rest of your day.